Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I want to talk to you about the ever increasing opioid deaths among young people here in the United States. This is an interesting article. I'll put a link to it in the description for the video. And here it is. Between 2019 and 2020, the incidence of overdose deaths among US adolescents nearly doubled, including an approximate quadrupling of deaths associated with fentanyl and other synthetics. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that the whole synthetic opioid thing has become a real problem. We went from marijuana, then we had kratom. There's this new synthetic opioid. I think I referred to it as C because I couldn't pronounce the name of the darn thing. There's nitrous oxide. There's this dusting where they're spraying aerosol cans. There's all kinds of crazy stuff here. So here we go. The leading cause of death among adolescents in the US is overdose. And overdose deaths have more than doubled since 2019. In response, the US expanded access to naloxone and buprenorphine in 2023. And these are, drugs that people can take that really just reduce the craving. And look, I've had some people, including myself, when I initially had heard about this type of treatment, who said, well, you're just swapping one opioid for the other. I mean, maybe there's some truth to that, but the bottom line is that the goal is to keep people alive. So I don't have an issue with it. I used to think that there was a problem. My mind has been changed. It was changed by a mom who came up to speak to me after I gave a presentation, and she told me about how her son was basically being kept alive by these types of drugs. So we got to keep people alive. Researchers from the University of Washington, Seattle Children's Research Institute, and Mass General in Boston conducted an analysis to explore the use of opioids, overdose, and opioid use disorder among US adolescents regarding the use of fentanyl, as well as the use of naloxone and buprenorphine for overdose treatment. In 2010, the opioid overdose epidemic worsened as the supply shifted from heroin to fentanyl, a synthetic opioid that is 50 times more potent than heroin. And actually, the video I put out yesterday or the day before, which talked about the new synthetic opioid, C, as actually being even more potent than fentanyl, right? And it only takes a little bit of fentanyl to kill somebody, right? I mean, that's just bloody dangerous. And now there's a new synthetic opioid that's even more potent. Between 2019 and 2020, the incidence of overdose deaths among adolescents nearly doubled. Of adolescents who died of an overdose in 2021, only 1/3 had a known history of opioid use, which means that somebody out there, right, 2/3 of these people didn't even know they had a problem. And maybe they didn't. Maybe it was just a one-time use that ended up killing them. Okay, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm going to let you read this for yourself. I'd be interested to hear what your thoughts are. Do you agree with this article? Do you disagree? Is there something in your own family that you're seeing? And maybe I didn't make a video about it. Let me know. Post in the comments. I'll make a video for you, because if it's affecting your family, it's probably affecting somebody else's. And I want to make sure that you get the information that you need. What do you think is the answer? Is there an answer? Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just, this is it. This is what we're facing as a society. And maybe there'll always be some type of new opioid or new drug out there that people are going to use for a myriad of reasons, which I'm not going to get into in this video. But if you're a family out there and you have a loved one who's dealing with, a substance use disorder or mental health issue, and you want to talk to us about what options may or may not be available to you, both legal and non-legal, we'd like to have a conversation with you. And with that said, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want more of this content, which I put out for you every day, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.